Dane, obviously the week off last week, have you done anything to make sure that, you haven't played a lot of footy? Have you done anything to make sure that that won't be a problem?
No, we've played plenty of footy this year, mate. And I guess we earned that week off and had a chance to freshen up after the Melbourne game and had a pretty good session pretty solid session on Saturday. So we're ready to go.
How much confidence do you take from that last win over Collingwood here?
A little bit. I think we've shown that we can match it against the best, and Collingwood are right up there with the best this year. And I think that's what's exciting about this week is there's two informed teams going head to head, and we're really excited.
Jordan Ngoe wasn't there for them the last time you played. Just how much of a difference does he make to them?
It makes plenty of difference. Obviously watching the last two games, he's been pretty pivotal to what they've been doing. So that's just another thing we have to be mindful of. And but as I said, we're confident in what we're doing. They're going to be ready to go just as we are.
Dane, Mason Cox said yesterday, basically good luck to anyone who wants to tag Jordan Ngoe. Your response to that, in terms of the players who can stop him on your side?
Oh mate, well, I don't have anything to say to Mason's comments. Well, good luck to us then.
Who do you think might get that job, and how much attention might you pay to him in a one-on-one role?
I'm not sure yet. We'll do our meeting later this afternoon after training. But I think what's been good about, our midfield over the past couple of weeks has been it's been a genuine group approach, and we've seen Millsy do jobs on people, Rowie, and even Parksy last week on Viney. So there's no doubt that Ngoe's in good form, but it's not something that we're overly concerned about. Just got to respect him, which we will, and we're coming out to compete.
Dane, how much confidence do you get out of the fact that you've beaten them here in a high-stakes game not very long ago? I know the personnel missing that we've already spoken about, but that's very fresh in your minds. Yeah,
it is, and it's not going to lie. It obviously, it is in the back of your mind, but at the same time, Collingwood have changed. They've got Ngoe back in, who's an important player for them, and just because we beat them last time doesn't give us the right to rock up here and think it's going to happen again. We're going to have to make the decision to come here and compete on Saturday afternoon, and it's anyone's game at the moment.
They seem to think it's a big deal about the dimensions of this ground. Like they've said they've drawn up their training oval to be SCG size, which despite what many people think is only a couple of metres shorter than the MCG. Do you think it actually is a factor in any way, the size of the ground compared to other grounds, or is that?
Oh, mate, I don't know. Personally, not for me. I don't notice too much of a difference, other than a ground that is our home ground and we play it a lot more than obviously other teams. But that's for them to worry about. I don't know anything to say on that.
Dane, you all know how you play at this stage of the. Sorry, you know what they're coming with, right? And they know how you play the game. So, what gets the team over the line this week?
I think just doing the basics well. I mean, there's no secret in finals. It's the team that do the basics for longer, and I guess what's exciting about this weekend is it's probably two of the best pressure teams in the comp going at it. Their pressure's been elite, as we've seen over the last couple of weekends, but so is ours, particularly in that game against Melbourne. So I think that's what we're all looking forward to, and hopefully what the fans and everyone watching should be looking forward to as well.
And you showed, what you're talking about with that increased pressure late in the game against Collingwood a few weeks ago with your smother on Brody Myercheck. Can you talk us through that mindset, I guess? It seems to be spreading through the whole Swans team, and Robbie Fox probably outdid you.
Yeah, definitely outdid me. Yeah, it came from about halfway. It's just something that, it's probably been a change in mindset. Probably the back half of the year for the club has just been really hard to score against. And, that's something we've taken pride in. And we like to think we've been doing it for quite a long time, but it's probably just been noticed a little bit more in the last couple of weeks, probably because we've had bigger games in terms of numbers and people watching, and against a team like Collingwood who's obviously going to generate some interest. So there's been glimpses of that in the front end of the year, and probably like to think we're a little bit more consistent at it now. So it's just something that we like to commit to each other, and we feel like it's held us in good stead.
And what's your take on the Pies forward line? Because other than a resting ruck, mate, I sort of don't have that monster tall, whereas you've got a bit of height down in defence with you and the McCartan brothers.
Yeah, look, despite their, when you say lack of tools, they've got a number of players that play really well above their head. Obviously, Elliott, Myercheck and Hoskin Elliott, just to name a couple. Really capable, obviously on the deck, but in the air as well. So, they're a really good forward line, and I think their pressure is number one in the comp in terms of their forwards. So that's something we've got to be mindful of and respect, which we will. And I guess it just all adds up to a really exciting game and against a big opposition.
The Carlton brothers have been a big focus throughout the season and their success together, but what's your role been in guiding them through that? Because Tom's only 22, Paddy's essentially in his first season down back.
Not too sure exactly. I've really enjoyed having him down there, and to be honest, what they've done this year has been nothing short of remarkable. Obviously, Paddy coming back and dealing with, I guess, what he's had to deal with in terms of resilience, getting back not only from a concussion and his body viewpoint, but playing a new position as well. So that's been incredible. And Tommy, you forget that he's only 22, playing on the opposition's keys every single week and doing a really sound job. He's only going to go from strength to strength, and I like to think that we all complement each other in the back line, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with him.
Dane, it's pretty rare for Buddy to have a quiet game on a big stage. Have you seen anything in him over the last couple of weeks that suggests he's primed to bounce back?
Probably nothing out of the ordinary in terms of, I guess bounce back from last week. He didn't have his greatest game, but he still had an impact on the game. I think everyone could see that, and knowing Bud and the competitor he is, you almost just don't need to worry about him because he's priming himself for a big one. And I guess if anything, you can see that in just the way he's walking around in the hallways, just a little bit more of a steely resolve. But that's to be expected. That's what we've come to, admire about him, and looking forward to seeing what he dishes out on the weekend.
First prelim here since '96, and Tony Locker kicked that famous point. Do the players get a sense of how special it is to play a prelim on their home ground?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always a privilege playing here every weekend, but particularly after the last couple of years in COVID, something we've really valued being back here at our home ground, and it's something we've spoke about in the past. But and particularly in finals and in big games, you can feel, I guess you can feel the energy around the city, and it's something you probably don't get during the home and away season. There's a genuine lift in, I guess, excitement and enthusiasm for the game, which is great to see. Something we've all worked hard for, and this weekend's no different.
Being an experienced player with lots of finals experience, have the younger players kind of lent on you for some advice in such a big final?
I don't know. I think one of the strengths of our group has got lots of senior players with plenty of finals experience. Parksy and Joey are probably the two most notable ones, and I like to think that we're sharing information and stories, based on our experience, and just kind of, I guess, letting them know what to expect. But I think the other thing is that they've more than handled the moment themselves, the younger fellas, and they seem ready as ever to take on those big moments. And they're really looking forward to getting out here.
Robbie Fox has been a bit of a journeyman. Since he's come back into the side, had a crucial role. How have you seen his development this year, and how important is it to have a good back line with you?
Yeah, it's really important, and Foxy's story, particularly at the back half of the year, has probably been indicative of, I guess, probably our defensive stuff and our mindset, and what's probably changed and taken us from a good team to one pushing in this top four is the resilience to get back in. He's obviously been in and out of the team for a couple of years, but I think what I'm most proud of for him is the fact that he got another opportunity. He's grabbed it with both hands, and you can see that in the way he plays. His desperation and his want to compete has just been outstanding.
Dan, the team's barely changed in a couple of months. Do you see any reason why it could or should this week? And also just how good has that continuity been to sort of set you up for the last couple of months that you have?
Yeah, it's been great. It's probably not something we've been used to over the last couple of years. There was a few years there we went through a pretty lean run in terms of getting some important players out in the park. But our injury management team and our fitness staff have been unbelievable the last couple of years since they've come on, and put us in a position to challenge, and going into games towards the back end of the season, particularly and in big finals, is as an unchanged lineup is crucial. Just for not only for the confidence, I guess, of the group, but just the cohesion as well. I think we can see the results of that, of working together. We seem to be playing as one, and just continuing to build that belief and, I guess, unity.
You had a couple of years ago, you guys missed the final for the second year. You had that broken hand. Did you ever doubt that you guys could get to a stage back competing for a premiership so soon?
It's a good question. I've never doubted the ability of the group. Maybe how quickly it's come along, but also probably over the last 12 to 18 months, it hasn't surprised me, just based on seeing how quickly the group has improved and developed. And it's been a pleasure to be a part of. And I think while 4 or 5 years ago would have maybe surprised some. I think we've been, quietly confident that this is where we belong and where we should be, and we're looking forward to where we are at the moment.
Do you reckon you're in career best form?
Me? I'm not quite sure. I think I'm enjoying my footy as much as I ever have. And I think what's been great about our team, particularly the back line, is I think we complement each other, and the strength of our back line is probably our versatility. You've got McCartans that can play on a key position play and then play off as that intercepting marker, and then myself and Robbie Fox who can play on other tiles small. So I like to think we complement each other, and I don't want to comment on my own form, but I'm enjoying my footy as much as I ever have, and it's easy to see when you're part of a great group in front of big crowds and challenging towards the back end of the year.